Hello children, welcome to VKSS Physics Clinic, and as usual we have been cracking hardcore problems in these classes. Today, in fact, we are going to discuss power of a lens followed by combination of thin lenses. We will see what will happen when two or more thin lenses are combined together, okay? And then we will come to refraction of light through prism followed by dispersion if the time permits, okay? So, let us begin. The first topic is power of a lens. Power of a lens. See children, whenever light is allowed to pass through a lens, then one thing happens for sure, because the lens is a refracting medium, it bends the light ray after it passes through it. And then two things are possible: either the light gets what? Focused at a point, means bends towards the normal, or bends away from the normal. But in either case, the light is bending. Now, capability of a lens to bend a light ray after it passes through the lens, in fact, is measured in terms of power of the lens. Let us understand it. Suppose I give you two lenses. One lens is this, which is relatively more thick. A ray of light is passing through it and is, after refraction, is bending and passing through a point P on the principal axis. Now imagine another situation. We have another lens. This is another lens. A ray of light is incident on it, and this ray of light is bending less, as you can see, and focusing farther away on the lens. If I were to ask you which lens is bending the light ray more, the first lens or the second lens, then what will you say? The second lens is bending less and the first lens is bending more. So in the language of physics, we will say the first lens got greater power compared to the second lens. So power of a lens literally means, children, the capability of a lens to bend a light ray toward itself after the ray undergoes refraction. Now mathematically, how we see this? You know, the rays which are traveling parallel to the principal axis, after refraction will pass to the what? Focus. So I will not write P, I will write this is what? F, and I will write this also as F. Since we define focus. Now if you look at these two diagrams, you will find the first lens has got smaller focal length and the second lens has got what? Greater focal length. So we state mathematically like this: the more the focal length, less the capability to bend the light ray, less the focal length, more the capacity to bend the light ray. So we can say like this, that the power of a lens is in fact reciprocal of its focal length. So mathematically, power of lens will be reciprocal of the focal length of the lens. Okay, so let's define it. So we define, children, it is equal to reciprocal of the focal length of the lens. So P is equal to 1 by F. Now power has a special unit, children. Its unit is diopter. Unit is diopter and its symbol is D. So what is 1 diopter power? If focal length of a lens is 1 meter, then its power is equal to 1 diopter. If F is equal to 1 meter, then power is 1 diopter. So power of a lens is said to be 1 diopter if its focal length is 1 meter, right? Now this power can easily be derived by using lens maker's formula. If we using lens maker's formula, we know 1 by F is equal to mu minus 1 1 by R1 minus 1 by R2. And how much is 1 by F? 1 by F is equal to P. So here we get a formula P equals to mu minus 1 by R1 minus 1 by R2. So this is an interesting formula that we got for power of a lens. If you know the focal length, what will do? You take it as a reciprocal, but make sure that you convert the focal length into what? Meter. Like suppose I say, if focal length is minus 20 centimeter, so I need to convert into meter. So find its power. So I need to convert focal length into meter first. Bear this in mind. And F will be minus 20 by 100, which is minus 1 by 5 meter. The power will be 1 by F minus of 5. So we should bear in mind that power of a convex lens is positive and a concave lens is negative. Very important. Power for convex lens will be positive and power for concave lens will be negative. So this you know from the focal length, sign of the focal length. Focal length of convex lens is positive, so its power is negative, and focal length of concave lens is negative, so its power is what? Negative. And this powers will be in what? Diopter once you convert the focal length into meter, right? Now we can also they will not give you focal length all the time. They can give you other parameters, like they can give you mu, they can give you R1 and they can give you R2, and they can ask you what will be the power of the lens. Suppose children, they give you find power of 20 centimeter. Suppose they ask you a very simple question using lens formula. Find power of a lens having refractive index 1.5 and radii of curvature how much? 15 centimeter and 20 centimeter. So 1 by F will be how much? Mu minus 1 by R1 minus 1 by R2. And we know that for a convex lens R1 is positive and R2 is what? Negative. We had discussed in the previous video that for a biconvex lens R1 is positive and R2 is negative by convention. If you put this here, then I get 1.5 minus 1. We have 1 by 15 minus 1 plus 1 by 20. So we have 1 by 2 into what is LCM 60. So we have 15 4 ja, 15 3 ja. So you have 7 by 120. That is what? 1 by F. So F is how much here? 120 by 7 centimeter. We need to convert into what? Meter. Clear? So it will be 120 by 700 meter. Clear? Now power will be 1 by F. So will be 700 divided by 120. You can cancel out 35 and this is 6. So 35 by 6 diopter. So these kind of questions can be given to you and you should be able to solve. Now you may wonder, I calculated F, I got in centimeter and then I converted into meter and then I took the reciprocal. Now this is shortcut way. 1 by F you get in terms of centimeter, like we get 1 by F. If I want to calculate power, I will be writing P is equal to 1 by F and simply multiply this answer by 100. So 700, 7 by 120 into 100 and directly you can write diopter. Meaning you don't have to go to this length. There is no need. Once you get 1 by F, Write P is equal to 1 by F. Whatever answer got, multiply this by 100, you will directly get the answer in diopters. So you can do either way. There will be like arm twisting, you get F, convert it into meter and then take the reciprocal. Instead, whatever you got by simplifying here, using Lensmaker's formula, just multiply this answer by 100 and you will get a power in diopter. Clear? Once you understand this, children, we are going to discuss the next important topic, which is combination of thin lenses when you place them coaxially. We place them in contact coaxially, and then we will be working on how we calculate power of a combination of thin lenses. Okay, so let us begin next topic, that is combination of thin lenses. ये डस्टर कहाँ से हट? Combination of thin lenses. Now children, we are going to put two thin lenses in contact. These lenses can be of any type. Either they both could be concave, both could be convex. It could be one convex and the other what? Concave. Doesn't make a difference. It could be either way. Now the thin lenses, this is important. Why thin lenses? Because you will be considering a single refraction and you are placing them what? Coaxially, like this. This is one thin lens here, and then this is the principal axis. We are placing another thin lens out here. This is another thin lens, and you can see that both of these thin lenses have been placed what? In contact here at this point. They are in contact and they have been placed coaxially. And I'll assume here, suppose this is lens A, this is lens what? B, or we can write L1 and L2, that will be better. First lens, second lens. And I'll assume that the focal lengths are f1 and f2 respectively. Clear? Now children, I will place an object O here at a point on the principal axis, and I will consider two rays. One ray is going along the principal axis, so this ray will pass undeviated, right? And the second ray is incident here obliquely. Now this ray in fact will be suffering refraction of the first surface, something like this. Now since the lens is very thin, I can do with a single refraction. I will not be considering two refractions. So this ray, if the second lens was not there, then this ray would have gone straight. Again here we are going to use the concept of virtual object. This ray would have gone straight and I would have got an image I dash. But because the second lens is there, this will bend more and will focus at a point I. Clear? So the final image I, the first image I dash is going to act as a virtual object. Very important. O is the point object. Its first image is being seen at what? I dash, and I is the final image which is formed, right, due to refraction through the second lens. And as I said before, because the lenses are thin, I will be considering a single refraction. Clear? Now I will assume that the object distance is u. Distance of the first image is v dash, and the final image is v. I am sure you understood the diagram. There are two lenses, L1 and L2, focal length f1 and f2. They have been placed in contact coaxially. O is a point object at a point on the principal axis. Due to refraction to the first surface, I am getting image I1, I dash. Clear? I'm getting image I dash, and I dash is acting as a virtual object for the final image I, which is formed due to refraction to the first surface. So let's make these assumptions. Let for I dash acts as virtual object. So children, I is the final image which is formed due to refraction through the second lens L2, and for the final image I dash acts as a virtual object. Clear? Now I'll be using lens formula, for lens L1. If you use this, what the formula? 1 by V dash minus 1 by U is equal to 1 by F1. Actually, you know what the lens formula? Lens formula is 1 by V minus 1 by U is equal to 1 by F. Clear? For the first lens, V equals to V dash, and U of course is U. If you put in the values, 1 by V dash minus 1 by U is equal to 1 by F1. Clear? Now, for the final image I, the object will be at what distance? V dash, not U. Because for the final image I dash will act as a virtual object. So, we will be writing for the final image I, okay, I dash acts as object. I dash acts as object. Now, therefore, if I use lens formula, 1 by V minus 1 by V dash is equal to 1 by F2. For the second lens L2, the image distance is V and the object distance is how much? V dash. Clear? Now, we'll just add 1 and 2. Adding 1 and 2. Let's see what is 1 and 2. Equation 1 is 1 by V dash minus 1 by U is equal to 1 by F1, and equation 2 children how much? 1 by V minus 1 by V dash is equal to 1 by F2. Add it. If you add in this till what? Cancel out, and what do you get? 1 by V minus 1 by U is equal to 1 by F1 plus 1 by F2. Let's say this is equation 3. So children, if you look at the overall combination, then for the overall combination, the object distance is what? U, and the image distance is how much here? V. So if I ask you what is the equivalent lens situation, the equivalent situation is like this, that I can consider a single lens, for example here. I can consider a single lens. O is the object and I is the final image. Clear? So I can say if this is U and this is V, then I can say that if combined focal length is equal to F, then 1 by V minus 1 by U is equal to how much? 1 by F. So you see, left hand side is same, so right hand side is also be same. So I'll say from 3 and 4, 1 by F will be equal to 1 by F1 plus 1 by F2. So this is the formula for combination of two thin lenses when they are placed coaxially in contact. Very important. There are three things. They are thin, they are in contact, and they have been placed coaxially, means the centers are lying along a common axis. Clear? So this is combination of two thin lenses. Okay. So we saw for two lenses. Suppose you have many lenses. One lens is here, they are very thin lenses. Another lens is here. Use another lens. You have another lens here. Suppose you have many lenses like this. Focal length f1, f2, f3. It goes on. So we can say for n lenses, 1 by f will be equal to 1 by f1 plus 1 by f2 plus 1 by f3. Or you can say 1 by f is equal to sigma 1 by f I1 to n. So this is for n lenses. Now children, what will happen if the two lenses are not in contact? One lens is here and the other lens is here. There are two thin lenses. They have been placed coaxially and distance between them is how much? D. Focal length f1 and f2. So, we have a special case, remember this. If distance between two thin lenses is equal to D, then 1 by f will be 1 by f1 plus 1 by f2 minus D by f1 f2. So children, we understood what will be the combined focal length when the two lenses are separated by a distance D. Clear? Now, once you got the focal length of combination, then we can also calculate what will be the combined power of a lens. So, combined power, we know that P is equal to how much of 1 by F. So, if I use this, then first formula comes for two lenses, P equals to P1 plus P2. The second comes for n lenses, P is equal to P1 plus P2 plus P3. Will go on. And power being a scalar, it can be added like numbers, like power of a convex lens will be positive and concave lens will be negative. And if we have a case in which the lenses are separated by distance D, so P will be equal to P1 plus P2 minus D P1 into P2. So this is something you need to keep in mind. Clear? You can be given simple numericals on this. Suppose I am combining two lenses. Question. Problem. If a convex lens having focal length 15 centimeter and a concave lens having focal length 10 centimeter are combined coaxially, what is the combined focal length? Now you have to be very careful when you are using it. 1 by f will be equal to 1 by f1 plus 1 by f2. Now focal length of a convex lens will be taken as negative. So f1 will be 15 centimeter. Here, when I am using the problem, this data in the problem, f1 will be 15 and it will be minus 10. This is to be noted. If you write f2 also as plus 10, your answer will be wrong and will become meaningless. So 1 by f is equal to 1 by f1 plus 1 by f2, both are kept in contact. So 1 by 15 minus 1 by 10, or you can write plus minus 1 by 10. So it become negative 1 by 15 minus 1 by 10. So LCM is 30. 1 by f is equal to 30, 2 minus 3 minus 1 by 30. So how much is f? Minus 30 centimeter. So the focal length has become negative, and the focal length has become negative. That means the combination will act as a concave lens having what focal length? 30 centimeter. And suppose they ask you power, so combined power P will be equal to minus 1 by 30 by 100. So it will be minus 10 by 3, that is minus 3.33 diopter. So since I know the combined focal length, I can calculate what will be the combined power. But it is not necessary that I have to calculate combined focal length. If I know the individual focal lengths, suppose they give a problem where two lenses are combined having focal length P1 is equal to 4 diopter and P2 is equal to 2.5 diopter. right? And suppose it is minus 2.5 diopter. Then I can directly use the formula P equals to P1 plus P2, which is 4 minus 2.5, 7.5 diopter. So depending upon what situation is given, you should be able to handle a problem. Clear? So when should, what will be the combined focal length when two thin lenses are combined together, and what will be the combined power? Clear? So if the lenses are in contact, I am going to use this formula. If the lenses are separated by distance, I am going to use this formula. Clear? So lenses in contact will act like parallel resistances. Okay, children? So in this video, short video, we have discussed only the combination of thin lenses. Thank you.